So, Kyle, I pose the question to you. What do you believe the outcome to this game will be and why?
Well, what should happen is that the Chiefs should win by 2 touchdowns. And I'm being nice here. The Chiefs need to get this win more ways than one because the Chiefs have played subpar this year so far. Offensively, they had their worst game of the year against Tennessee last week. I mean, they scored 3 points for God's sakes. And this is an offense that's led by Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. And Tennessee did not have that good of a defense to come into that game. And to only be held to 3 points against Tennessee, that's embarrassing. So when it comes to the Chiefs offense, they need to put up at least 30 points in this game for me to be satisfied. Because the Chiefs have just played so underwhelming throughout the entire year. And God forbid they lose this game because I'm not going to have it if they do. And I'm looking at that defense. That defense has looked suspect the entire year. They have played multiple games where they've given up 30 points, if not close to 30 points in most games throughout the entire season, and they're giving up like 400 to 450 yards of offense to opposing teams. So you're going up against a New York Giants team that is just battered with injuries on the offensive side of the ball. The Chiefs should not give up more than 20 points in this game. This is at home. The Chiefs need this win to kind of get back on track to be somewhat of a force in the AFC West because at this point they've looked rather anemic or inept, about halfway through the season. But I got to see a spark from this team. I don't know who's going to provide it, but this team needs a spark. It just needs a jump start. And hopefully this is one of those games where they could finally get it because, man, if they struggle against the Giants in this Monday night matchup, you could really kind of start saying, man, is this season just not going to happen for the Chiefs? It's kind of trending that way already. And if they struggle against the Giants in this one, then it really kind of goes to that full-blown, maybe it's just not their year this year. But I don't expect that to be the case. I expect Kansas City to roll through this game. I think the offense is going to get their heads out of their asses from last week. I think the defense is going to definitely step up in this game. And I think it will be a well-rounded win for Kansas City. I think they win this one relatively by a wide margin. I'm going to say they win this one 34-20. Maybe 34-17. I'm really kind of seeing it as that big of a margin when it's all said and done.
So I'm going to agree, and I'm going to say this is the week that Kansas City needs to capitalize. This Giants football team is not very good. They did get a win last week, so I'm not going to discredit that they beat who did they beat last week? Beat a random team. They beat a random team. The Giants got a victory last week, so I'm not going to say that they are completely useless or hopeless in any way, but I do want to say that we do know that they have some capabilities. Daniel Jones has flashes of success in certain aspects, and that Kadarius Toney showed a couple of weeks back that he can be a focal point in this offense. Supposedly, he will also play some special teams, which is what he is known for, at least what he was known for back in college in Florida. They're moving some pieces around. They're trying to find ways to change this up. Joe Judge is a good coach, but when you just look at it on paper and personnel-wise, Patrick Mahomes against this team should not even be close. It should really be a complete annihilation of the New York Giants. But I can't say anything because we thought that they would not blow the Titans out, but at least score more than 3 points. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the Chiefs are definitely going to win, but they should. That being said, if the Giants come out of nowhere and upset the Chiefs, which should not happen in life or history, it's not a sentence that should make sense. But if it does happen, I truly and honestly believe the Chiefs could be done. It's just not looking good. Pat doesn't look like himself. We've already stated the defense is atrocious. Pretty embarrassing, actually, when you think about it statistically about how many points they give up and how many yards they're giving up per game. So we will see what happens, but my prediction is for the Chiefs to bounce back, go to even their record out to 500 at 4-4. And yeah, I think this is going to be the opportunity that they need to kind of get their stuff together and really focus on the next week. Not that the Giants are not a formidable football team, but this should be the week where they kind of wake up and realize, okay, we still are the Kansas City Chiefs, and Pat Mahomes can focus on something that's not his younger brother acting like a complete ass on social media, and he can take out some of that frustration on this battered Giants team.
Yeah, and I think that Pat's going to have a good game in this one. He's been very turnover prone this year so far. He has 18 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. That interception ratio is pretty weak compared to what we've seen from Patrick Mahomes in the past. But I think in this game, bro, I just think they get it back together this week. I really do.